Hello, this is JP Hrisoulas, the cranky old bastard, and my next video in my series will be how to lay up a billet for pattern welding. The materials I have here are L6, 1084 sheet, and stainless steel heat treating foil. Stainless steel foil is rather thin. Have to be careful when you handle with this stuff because you can slice yourself up pretty badly if you're not careful. There are 13 pieces of L6, 12 pieces of 1080, and 8 pieces of the heat treating foil. Now, some people say heat treating foil cannot harden, and on its own it can't, but once I get through with the welding processes, there'll be enough carbon migration from the higher carbons into the stainless, and yes, it will happen. Just takes a little longer than normal, it usually do, to not harden. So I like to start with the center of the billet and work my way out. So I'll take one piece of the L6, 2 pieces of the 1080 high carbon, 1 piece of the nickel, another piece of the nickel on each side. Okay. Another piece of the high carbon, another piece of the high carbon, a piece of the L6, another piece of the L6, pop them down there, straighten up a little bit. Oh, gravity still works. Another piece of the high carbon, another piece of the high carbon, piece of the L6, piece of the L6, some stainless foil on each side, straighten them up. Okay. Another piece of the high carbon, another piece of the high carbon, more L6, more L6, more stainless, more stainless, more L6, more L6, more stainless, more stainless, high carbon, high carbon, L6, L6, high carbon, high carbon, L6, L6. Now we're going to put these all together here. Take our clamp. Let's deck these up here. Just got to get them close because this is all going to be straightened out in the grinder. Make it all nice and easy. Open the clamps up a little bit. Open them up. Clamp them down. Nice and snug. Do the same on the other side. And squeeze them in. Now, where's my hammer? Let me get my rawhide mallet here and tap these in. And this is it. It's all clamped up and ready to go. Now, let me explain why I chose those materials. The L6 and 10 series steels are probably the most commonly used material for pattern welding nowadays because they stick very well, they give decent contrast, and they both what I consider to be standalone steels, which means they make a decent blade on their own. Now, the differences in the alloy between the L6 and the 10 series will give you very good contrast. Very good contrast. The stainless heat treating foil, I use that for color and contrast because when I get done with this, as bright as the L6 will be against that 10 series, the stainless foil will be just as bright against the L6, which means it'll be almost like shining silver. Gives very striking contrast, very eye-catching. Plus, the amount of forging I will do, since I'm using such thin stock, will be negligible as far as diffusing the stainless into the surrounding material, which can happen as you get higher up, but there'll be enough drawing on this, because this is 5 thousandths, correction, 3 thousandths heat treating foil, which is like paper. So by the time this is drawn out, there's 8 and 12, that's 20, 33 layers in here. So by the time that's cut, first weld will be 33, the second weld I will cut into quarters, which makes it 66, 120. Yeah, might as well say 33, 66, 132. Cut that into thirds, it'll be 300 and, well, 400 layers, which is right about where I want it to be. Give or take a few layers because you do lose some surface and material to weld flux and oxidation and scale and boo-boos and everything else that you won't be able to figure out. So, why am I using sheet? Because I've already got, first weld, I've already got 33 layers. I know layers doesn't mean a thing, it's the carbon content, but people like to say 1,000 layers. It doesn't matter. If you use decent steel, it's going to be decent steel. Unless you're using the traditional iron, soft iron, and carbon steel mix, that's when the layers come out. But then, if you're just going on carbon differences, you're going to get diffusion and your pattern is going to wash out. Now, let's go back a few thousand years. Let's go back 1,500 years, the migrationary period, with the pattern welded swords there. They were not only dealing with carbon differences, they were also dealing with phosphorus and other trace element differences in their irons. If you're using bog iron, it's going to be high in phosphorus just because of the nature of the material. If you're using traditional, beach sand or magnetite, it's going to be different than the bog iron. So, actually, I wrote a whole thesis on this many, many years ago. I should publish that. Anyway, but when you start talking about patterns, you want the contrast. You want the contrast between the two materials. You want, I'm a magpie. I like it to look like, hey, I'm something here. I like the eye catching. And plus, if you get above a layer count of a certain layer, depending on materials, you get chatoyancy in the pattern to where it looks like curly maple or tiger eye gemstones, which is really quite attractive. But this is ready to pare down. This will be ground down flush. Then I'll wire it. That'll be the next video. And after that, it will be welding up. So thank you very much for your time. I've taken a little bit of a holiday break, whatever you want to call it, due to health problems within my family. Those finally are being dealt with presently, and hopefully they'll be solved shortly. Thank you so much for your time and watching my video. Please hit the like button if you haven't already done so. Please hit the subscribe button if you've already done so. Have a wonderful evening. Today is Yasna, one of our Zoroastrian holidays. It is the beginning of our new year, and I wish the blessings of the wise Lord upon you and your family and your friends. Thank you so much for your time. May Mahur Mazda bless you.